Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Share, subscribe, like this video. There is a lot going on. I've been trying to get to the bottom of it, but right now, as we know, Russia is in chaos. From what we understand, there's been a total breakdown there, and it's almost like a civil war going on. Looks like one group, which is the Wagner group, that's been doing all the fighting in Ukraine, losing all the men. They're basically an offshoot of the military, okay? They're contractors. Well, evidently they've had enough. And let me tell you something, this is not a good thing. These are the guys who want to use nukes or whatever it takes on Ukraine. But now, what they're trying to do is take over the government. It's definitely a coup. And it's definitely broke out like we've never seen. Now, we've got this coming in right now. I'm going to try to go over a lot of things with you. Make sure you put your prayer request in the bottom. But this is what we know so far. The next few hours are critical for Moscow, with the army deployed in key points in the capital with orders to protect the government buildings and critical facilities. Now, I think it's the Secretary of Defense there. They've already got him out. They flew him out of there, so... The rapid and sudden escalation inside Russia took every American by surprise. The first reaction came about an hour ago. American officials assessed that the coup in Russia is real and have stressed that they are monitoring the situation very carefully. Now, earlier today, there was a massive amount of B-52 bombers that left the United States headed towards that way. And they've got refuelers right there on the edge of Ukraine. So this could all go down tonight. So definitely keep all this in mind, that everything is happening right now. Okay, at the same time, the National Security Advisor of the White House stated that they are informed, and Biden, in the situation, has emphasized he will consult with allies and partners on these developments. In addition, American Secret Service officials emphasized that Wagner is preparing for a full mobilization in order to enter Moscow. So, evidently today, Wagner got attacked by Moscow and lost 10,000 men. Well, now they're going into Moscow to take over the government. So that's what's happening. Lies or truth, we'll all see in the next few hours. The next threat is Prigozhin. The head of the Wagner Group, is his new audio message on Telegram, claims that his fighters are approaching the city of Rostov, which is located in southern Russia near Ukraine, and adds, "We have crossed state borders in all areas. The border guards came towards us and hugged our fighters now, and we enter Rostov." So they've let them come across. The Russian soldiers put down their arms and let them come in. Units of the Ministry of Defense that tried to block our way will be moved away. This is coming from Wagner. We go further. We will go all the way. No Russian soldiers to resist. Lay down your weapons or we'll crush you. We don't fight with children. We don't kill children. Shoigu kills children by throwing untrained soldiers into a war. He's talking about sending them into Wagner, a lot of these young kids. We only fight professionals, but anyone stands in our way, we will destroy them. We're going all the way. Wagner military commanders also threaten, "We will carry out any order of our commander, and the Russian FSB will not stop us." Shoigu won't get away with his registration it's too late. Ukrainians should be worried that the war will really start now. That's what I'm telling you. The Wagner wants to use nukes. If they take out Putin and all this group, then we're really into World War III like we have never seen. But we've already told you, do not fear. We already knew this was coming. We was just waiting for everything to fall, and it's just seeming to start now. That just means we're very close. Do not fear these events, my brothers and sisters. We're just very close to getting out of here, because right now the world's in chaos. The largest superpower of nuclear weapons is in turmoil. And if Wagner does take control of the country, these are the ones who wants to nuke everybody. If they take Putin out and the heads of the military, and they gain control over all these weapons, what I told you months ago will finally take place. So that's what's going on. And there's more here. Soon after, the FSB called on Wagner soldiers to disobey Prigozhin and not make the fatal mistake of taking up arms against the Russian army. Prigozhin would soon be arrested and brought to justice. This is coming from Moscow. At the same time, in Peskov, the representation of the Kremlin announced that the general prosecutor of Moscow informed Putin about the criminal prosecution against Prigozhin for the attempted armed revolution. Military mobilization in Moscow. Forces are rushing from the east immediately after Prigozhin's statements. All Raznov's officers of the Center Military Command were ordered to report immediately to the local military commands that was put on alert. I'm trying to get these names. Some of these I can't get. Roskovda take up battle positions at the entrance of Moscow, in which barricades are set up. At the same time, military forces are being moved from Eastern Military Command to Western. A government official told Moscow Times that the dozen of Special Forces aircraft flew to Rostov a few hours ago. However, there is a clear concern in the Kremlin about these developments. That is why General Sukhovin, who brought an automatic weapons with him, made hasty statements first, and immediately after, General Deputy A. Githa. Perhaps Moscow will be spared the worst with the silence. Some of this stuff I don't think they can translate. It just happens that the hawks within the Kremlin and the Russian military Ministry of Defense will have won a big battle that does not bode well for Ukraine. Putin are considered by the large part of the Russian military establishment as extremely lazy, hesitant, and moderate for war and a scale with the rival of NATO, he says. So, like I said, these guys want to destroy NATO, the ones that are trying to take over the government. See, anything else? There's a lot of videos. There's a lot of craziness coming out of there. There was another one. That was on War News. I translated it into English. Now, there was a lot coming out. See, Hal Turner had some stuff on this. And it has been confirmed through the American government that this is happening. Okay, flash. Urgent reports of possible coup in Russia. Russia engaged fortress plan, expecting internal attacks. Okay. Breaking news. See... Planned fortress is to protect vital facilities, jam cell phones, and restrict normal civilian life that has been enacted in southern Russia and Moscow. Rumors of civil war is everywhere. The fortress plan implies an emergency gathering of police personnel and provides readiness to repel an external attack. Any army recruits without much training are being armed and sent to southern Russia. Social media is lighting up with postings calling the military brass to be outed and war shown below. See, right here's something coming out of Russia. All patriots of Russia, true patriots of the country, who know the history and not fans of this weak authorities that betrayed our interest of the state, come into the streets, we'll find you weapons. The night we will settle this issue of traitors and criminals that brought shame upon Russia. Their names are Shoigu, and these are the defense ministers. These are their generals. Shoigu will be hung on the Red Square, and he will lie in a mausoleum with Lenin. This is stuff that's coming out there. It's crazy. Apparently, the leader of the PMC, Wagner, Prigozhin, posted a public message on social media claiming that the Russian army definitely fired missiles at his camps of the Wagner PMS soldiers, killing several and injuring more. Rumors are running wild. Prigozhin is bringing 25,000 of his Wagner troops to Moscow to take out the military leadership of Russia. Not the soldiers, the leadership. None of this is, we don't know. Whatever is taking place is happening very fast. The update of 529, so I'm kind of catching you up. Reports now surfacing that Russian Intergovernmental Secure Communication System, ATS-1 and ATS-2, have been taken offline and no longer functioning. So their internet, their phones, everything gone. So it's going to be hard to get anything out of there. Russian Spetsnaz is raiding the Wagner Center in downtown St. Petersburg right now, local time. It's almost midnight, still more. Roadblocks are being set up around, I cannot say that name, outside of Moscow. Many Kremlin regime leaders live there. Shooting reported in Moscow. We hear shooting from Moscow metro station, Russian opposition telegram. Special forces units have been arrived to protect the Russian Defense Ministry building in Moscow. Special Operation Forces SSO, command by Major General Valery Pluskov, has taken over control of the Ministry of Defense headquarters in Moscow. Right now, there's no way of knowing whose side he is really on. Shoigu or the other. Probably wait and see. Let's see. See if there's anything else. Okay. An emergency security plan is reported to have been activated in Moscow in response to this rebellion, according to a source in Russia's security forces. An immediate attack on Moscow appears to be anticipated. We urge Wagner Group fighters not to carry out criminal or traitorous orders of Prigozhin, but take steps to apprehend him, Russian FSB says. Let's see. In Moscow, all police and Ministry of Internal Affairs officers is off duty, have been called to their duty stations. Let's see. Central Military District have been summoned to their units of high alert in the middle of the night. Okay, so like I said, stuff's still coming in. Right here's one that says, this is what I was telling you earlier about the bombers. Very, very curiously, a number of B-52 bombers was launched from U.S. earlier today, and our refueling tankers are now on the border of Ukraine. If it goes down, they will penetrate Ukraine airspace to refuel B-52s and would likely be shot down by Russian upon entering Ukrainian airspace. All things considered, the way things are preciously are going right now, tonight might be the last normal day of our lives. Not for us, because we're going home. See. That's so far, that's all we got that's come in. But right now, what we do know is it's pure chaos. One group wants to nuke the world. That's the one trying to take over and take Putin and all his generals out. Putin wants to not use nuclear weapons as much as possible. They don't want to do that. They're trying to go in and try to save the infrastructure of Ukraine as much as possible. Well, this group, the Wagner group, does not like that. They want to go in and bulldoze and carpet bomb the whole place and kill everything that ain't standing up, basically. So that's what you got. You got two groups doing two different things. Wagner wants to destroy NATO and Ukraine. And they want to take out the Russian government that's taken their time and not doing that. That's who's fighting over the country tonight. And it seems like so far, the Russians, all the border crossings, when Wagner would get to the border crossings tonight, they just let them go through. They didn't try to stop them. The Russian people are on board with Wagner. They want to destroy NATO and Ukraine. If you know, we've been talking about that for months. Even the press in Russia has been all over. And we knew eventually this was probably going to happen because the press wants to use nukes. They want to get this thing going. And I think last night with Lindsey Graham and all them, what they was doing, I think that's what set this thing off. That is what, when they made a direct threat to the Russian people and the Russian soldiers, that's what set this off. That's really what happened. And I kind of figured it would when I watched it. Because the Russian people are proud people. They're tough. And they will be here. They will survive because they're in Gog and Magog. The United States is not. So we know that they're going to still be here. So, like I said, no fear. It's just one day closer. It's starting to, the birth pains are now doing what we told you they're going to do. They're growing and growing and growing. And all these things are coming to pass. One day closer to getting home, people. That's all it is. Nothing to worry about. We fly before those things fly. Okay? Because they're going to fly. I've already told you months ago, too many people seen it. Ukraine is the center of World War III. It does happen. Most of America that's not awake and not ready for this or asleep, they won't know what hit them. Because the press ain't going to cover it. They're not going to know it up to it. But you do. That's why you're here. It won't catch you off guard. But we're getting ready to get out of here. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Like I said, make sure, just keep us on the channel. Because we might be doing more updates. I'm going to keep an eye on this as much as I can. I might even come in at 3 o'clock in the morning, all I know. Because this stuff is so important. I've got to keep you all updated with everything that's going on. Love each and every one of you. If I don't see or hear from you again, I'll see you in heaven.